Let's get started by washing our hands. Remember, we want to wash our hands with plenty of soap, hot water, and wash for long enough to sing happy birthday 2 times through. Next, let's go over the equipment we need for today. We'll need 1 small pot, 1 larger pan like this. We'll also need a colander, a liquid measuring cup, some spoons, measuring spoons, a small knife, and a can opener. Let's go over the ingredients we need. We need 1 box of mac and cheese not prepared. We need half of a stick of butter. We'll need 1/4 cup of milk, 1 can of canned vegetables. I have green beans here. 1 can of canned beef. And if you have any of your favorite spices on hand, grab those too. I have garlic and onion powder. Also, I have some salt and pepper here. So our instructions say to make the box mac and cheese according to the package directions. So read over those. Make sure you have your water that's going to boil and make your noodles. Cut your stick of butter in half if you haven't already. And you can open up that box and get everything ready. I'm going to wait until my water boils before I add the noodles. And my box says to boil the noodles in the water for about 7 minutes. I'm also going to get started with the other part of my recipe that says to get my meat heated. So I'm going to open my can here of meat. And if your meat has fat on top, like mine does, just simply scrape away the fat. This is very common to have fat when we can meals that have a lot of fat in them. So what you can easily do is just scrape it off. We won't be using that today. Next, open your can of green beans. And drain the water out of your green beans. So, I'm going to turn my stove on, and I'm going to add my ground beef in a can to the pan here. If you come across any other fat, just scrape it away or take it out of the meat. Then crush up your meat so that it can get started warming up. I'm going to add my spices at this time. So I'm going to grab my measuring spoons, and I'm going to put in about 1 teaspoon of each spice and just a sprinkle of salt and pepper. Then mix everything together really well and let your mixture keep heating. All right, my mac and cheese is ready for me to add the noodles to the boiling water. So I'm going to do that and then let it boil for 7 minutes. I'm also going to add my green beans to my ground beef so they can start heating up as well. So everything is bubbling and cooking nicely here. I believe my pasta's about done, and it looks like my beef and my green beans are nice and warm. I'm going to turn that down slightly so it doesn't overcook, and I'm going to drain my pasta into my colander. So we'll drain the pasta, and if you set the pan back on the stove, just turn the oven off, or the burner off. We don't need that anymore. After you get the water off of the pasta, put it right back into that little pot. And from here, we're going to then add our seasoning packet, our butter, and our 1/4 cup of milk. Mix everything together really well so that you no longer see any pieces of butter in your mac and cheese. So all that's left to do is to mix in our prepared mac and cheese with our beef and green bean mixture, or whatever vegetable you decided to have this meal with. So adding it all together and then mixing everything together well, and then we'll be ready to serve. All that's left to do now is eat and enjoy.